Okay, I think we are live now. So, welcome everyone to the live stream. I haven't done live stream in quite some time, and I'm doing it from a different computer here. Um, let's just go like this and see everything. Just gonna quickly read through the chat while a few more people stream in, and then we're gonna get started. So, if you're not familiar because you didn't read the title or whatever, in this stream, I may do a little AMA and that sort of thing in between, but the main purpose, and I think it will be quite fascinating, is to look at what 25 cities, municipalities, so regions are broken up a bit, but I think it's still going to be really interesting, have the most RMTransit viewers. And this was obviously inspired by City Nerd, who just recently reached 100,000 subscribers. Cool. And did a similar stream. And I think what was really interesting is I looked at my data, and it's very different in terms of which cities appeared from City Nerd. And so I thought, yeah, it would probably be interesting to compare and to do a stream like this. So that's the plan. Um, I'm gonna go through the top 25 and allow people to guess and stuff, and yeah, we will see if people end up being able to guess them quite consistently. I'm just gonna read the chat quickly here. And lots of people here, so this is really cool. um go. Lots of people from all over are in the stream. Just gonna look here. um City Nerd is here. That's cool to see. It's early in Las Vegas, so City Nerd gets major kudos for actually for coming to the stream. Um, Unless gets up early every day, in which case it's still nice to see other YouTubers here. So let's get into it. Let's get into the top 25 cities where RMTransit viewers actually come from. Again, this is fascinating to me. I'm sure you'll find it very interesting. Um, I think what would make this really interesting is, oh, City Nerd gets up at 5 a.m. Well, not all. This is early for me. Um, 9 a.m. here in Toronto on a Sunday. Um, what I think will be really interesting is let's just get the number one city out of the way. Because if we get the number one city out of the way, what I think will happen is we'll basically have a really interesting list. The number one city is the least interesting city on here, and so yeah, I'll give it in a minute. But if people have guesses for what the number one city where people who watch my videos come from is, feel free to leave that in the chat. And then we'll work through. We'll count up from 25 up to number two, I think, and that'll be the most interesting way to do it because the number one city is kind of obvious. Let's see, lots of people guessing. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people did successfully guess the number one city because yes, it is Toronto. To be clear, this is my lifetime views. I'm gonna do what City Nerd did because I think that was pretty smart, which is go like this and just drop this in the chat. Um, yes, Toronto is the number one city. All of these are ranked in terms of total views that came from the city and lifetime views. So, these are in flux. And what I think is really interesting is the top 5 or 6 cities accounted for a really large percentage of the views. The smaller cities, they could move around a lot. Maybe it's worth checking, and if things are wildly different in a year or two, maybe I can do something like this again. But number one is Toronto. But it's interesting who like 2, 3, 4, 5 are. So let's go all the way back to 25. And if people have guesses as to what 25 is, you can start guessing away, um, and we'll work our way up. Let's just here. Lots of people in chat. Yeah. So let's start from 25. I'll give a minute or so if people have guesses, and then I will. What I will say is number two is not New York City. Someone said that in chat, but we're starting for 25. So I think people will find this again probably very interesting. A lot of them are outside of North America, just since people were curious. I think that makes it quite interesting. If people guess it, yeah, I guess I will. I'll do again what City Nerd did, and say if someone guesses it. I'm not sure I've seen it here. Again, I may miss it. Lots of people in chat. We're going with a number. We're starting with number 25, folks. I'm seeing lots of guesses, but I haven't seen it yet. Lots of good guesses and interesting guesses. Where is Vatican City on the list? Not sure it appears. There's just not that many people there to watch my videos. Okay, I haven't seen it. At least I haven't seen it anywhere recently. So, let's also go like this. Let's turn on. I think I can. Okay. Okay. And please only guess once too. Don't like spam the chat. So 25 is San Francisco. San Francisco. So let me put that in there. So I guess that's not all that surprising. I've done a few videos on the Bay Area, San Francisco related transit, BART. I don't think I've still haven't done like a dedicated Muni video. I will at some point, but Muni is a bit of a system in my opinion. The buses and stuff are good, and the service and everything is good, but what disappoints me is probably the metro in quotes for Muni, and some of the other projects are a bit questionable. If there's a buzzing sound when I speak, unclear. Hopefully the audio volume is okay. My air conditioner is loud. It's a bit annoying. When I record videos, I let the heat up in the building, which becomes unpleasant. So I'm going to go on to number 24. So if people have guesses for that, I'll give it maybe 20 more seconds, and I'm going to go through number 24 on the list. So number 25 is San Francisco. I visited most of the cities in the top 25, which I'm proud of. I will do a random video on regional rail in the UK at some point, for sure. So 24 is not the most exciting, just from the context of geographically. It is Seattle, Washington, in the U.S. So another American city, but that won't last for long. There are many cities that are not in America on this list. So soon we'll move up to 23, which is where things. Okay, actually, things are interesting for the rest of the list, basically. Yes, Seattle, which was very high ranking for City Nerd as well. I guess people in Seattle are passionate about their cities. It's interesting. So number 23. What do we think number 23 is? Just looking at the chat, people are guessing away. I don't think I've seen it. I haven't seen it as a guess for 23. What am I drinking? I am drinking pineapple flavored sparkling water because they didn't have regular sparkling water. It's not my favorite. Um, okay, so number 23 is Mumbai in India. Um, so yeah, a kind of interesting, completely on the other side of the world. Um, Looking at lots of guesses, people can guess at 22 now, I guess, which is less geographically interesting. I'm not drinking anything heavier. If there are any like really interesting kind of AMA style questions in the chat between the numbers, I'll yes, it is from an Ottawa-based supermarket. If there are interesting questions in the chat between, probably not transit related because this is more of a casual stream, I can answer them. But yeah, but outside of that, you can start guessing at number 22 on my list of cities where most of my viewers come from. So I think it'll be interesting. It is appreciated when you put 22 in front of your guess because then I can say, "Hey, no, we already did that one." Interesting, someone from the UK who sells loads of Via Rail tickets. So, 23, we're heading back to the US for Los Angeles, which is kind of surprising to me that LA beats. I mean, LA municipality is quite a bit bigger than San Francisco and Seattle, I think. Um, but still, it's kind of surprising. And I guess I have made a fair few videos about LA, but these don't really appear to correlate with whether I've talked about them in a video, which I think is super interesting. What's your favorite soccer or football team? I'm gonna be honest. I just do not watch that much sports. The 4 AMA at the beginning of this is helpful. So if you want to do that, so I can see if it's a question or if you kind of have to filter, that's helpful. Do I do nice pouring kettle in the back? Thank you. I believe so. Do you play City Skylines? No, I really don't play video games much these days. I'm way too busy with YouTube. Uh, so yes, I think the Lego Orient Express will need to join the Lego Crocodile. Um, so what is people can start guessing away at 21. Um, Lots of interesting guesses. I have been to Singapore, yes. Um, where did I get the London Underground sign in the background? From the London Transport Museum store. Favorite hockey team is also not that exciting because I don't watch that much sports. So yes, no interesting opinions. I don't have strong opinions on electric unicycles either. Besides, I would not be brave enough to ride one. I think the HFR. Okay, so last one before I unveil number 21. I think this question, even though I'm mainly not going to do transit related questions today, I think the public private thing of via HFR is good if it makes us think of something bigger than just a modern rail line. Uh, that came out weird. A modern like the way HFR is right now, the new Canadian intercity rail line, it's basically a low speed electrified rail line. And I think that if we're building a brand new multi billion dollar rail line, it should probably be high speed. So the fact that it isn't is disappointing, and so I think this may open up the opportunity for proposals that are higher speed. So we shall see, though. I have not been on one of the heritage rail trips from the London Transport Museum. I have visited many European cities, yes, just not when I was running the YouTube channel and filming stuff. What makes you hopeful about the future of transit in North America? I'm really happy about the stuff going on in Toronto. And with that, let's give us number 21. None of these include the census metropolitan area. These are all the municipalities. But based on what I saw, it's still quite interesting. 21 is Brisbane, Australia. I'll throw that in there. And then next up, we'll have number 20. Interestingly, 20 is maybe slightly predictable. Are you ever going to visit Delhi Metro? Again, in the future, probably at some point. I would enjoy doing so, especially since it's grown a lot since I've been there last time. 5 hours from Toronto to Montreal is very much not high speed because you can drive from Toronto to Montreal in about 5 hours. We are entering the top 20 right now. I'm quite excited to see how much of it people can guess. Just looking at the chat. So yeah, see what people guess for. See what people guess for this. Another Canadian city: Paris, Vancouver, London, Paris, Sydney, Manchester. I'm very sad to say that some of these cities. Thanks for the super chat, Alan. Some of these cities do not. Okay. I'm not going to comment on this. Number 20 is Mississauga, Ontario. Yeah, not the most exciting one. Oh no. So Mississauga, which is a suburb of Toronto, which is funny enough, but I guess not that surprising. So we're heading into the top 20 now. All of these are cities with a lot of RMTransit fans in them. I don't want to say the continent because I feel like that will spoil it. If I say the continent beforehand. Just looking at the chat. The TTC has maybe like a very limited service to Mississauga, but mostly no. It's Mississauga. It's My Way is the transit agency. Okay, if people are spamming the chat, I am going to time them out. So please just don't don't guess. Someone is asking, quite interestingly, what's the gap between the biggest ones and the ones that are further down? To give context, roughly the number 19 spot, which I'm about to give shortly, the number 19 spot is about 10% as many views as the number 2 spot. So there's a few cities at the top of the list where a lot of viewers come from, and then it just explodes into a ton of different cities. So I'm seeing lots of interesting guesses here. Okay, so 19 is. Let's see, I'm looking at all of these. And maybe I will take questions every few so that we keep moving through these at a relatively modest pace. Am I seeing 19? Am I seeing it? Is 19 an Asian city? I can't comment on that. Sarnia. Okay, well, I don't think Sarnia appears in the top 25. I may post a list somewhere after the fact. Haven't seen it. Okay, so 19 is Delhi in India. Um, so do you have any non-English speaking cities among the rest, except for Montreal? Yes, absolutely. Many non-English speaking cities, which I think is quite interesting. Um, so we're going towards number 18. Um, the stream is definitely delayed. Sorry if I'm not I'm not seeing people's messages super on time. So yeah, so 18. Yeah, people can start guessing for 18. Um, someone has guessed it now. Um, so I'll mention who guessed it when I what was number 20? Number 20 was Mississauga, Ontario, a suburb of Toronto. Yeah, so if you're going to ask a question, put an AMA at the front, but mostly non-transit or transportation related questions. What do you think of motorcycles as transport, though? Bonnie asks. Um, I have sat on top of a motorcycle once. It was really heavy, and I was like, oh, this is scary. I guess I have ridden a dirt bike, but a full road motorcycle, I've never taken a ride on, and they seem frightening to me and quite dangerous. So that's generally my opinion. Let's go to number 18. Everyone, a lot of guesses here, but Mehmet actually guessed correctly, which is that number 18 is Istanbul in Turkey. So quite interesting, I think. Yeah, the differences are between City Nerd are quite big. Will you be coming back to the UK and making more videos with Jeff? Yes, Jeff and I have been chatting, and let's just say at some point in the future, Jeff and I hope to create another video on one of our channels. So I'm excited about that. I think that would be fun. Jeff is really nice and very passionate. Um, so yeah. The reason I thought it would be interesting to do my list of top 25 cities is because it was different. Like if it was the same as City Nerd, that would feel kind of boring, I think. Um, uh, let's look through here. Will you be visiting Kuala Lumpur? Probably at some point in the future. I think that would be fun. So yeah, next up is coming is going to be number 17. Have you gotten into any new hobbies as of late? I really wish I could say I had, but videos take up so much of my time. I'm trying to think, is there anything that could qualify as a hobby that I have done recently? Um, no. Sorry. No, not really. I feel bad about that. Maybe playing a small number of video games, a little bit of Microsoft Flight Simulator, um, something I enjoy thoroughly. Could you ever see yourself living in an Australian city? Probably, but there's no job opportunities in Australian cities for me. So that's probably something that won't happen for a long time. Will you come and visit Istanbul? Again, I have been to Istanbul, but yeah, I'd love to, especially to ride the metro more. I didn't ride it a ton last time, and I didn't ride the Marmaray, so yeah. Ha, secrets of the TTC. That's funny. Um, so people are guessing away at 17. Uh, I actually did do a collaboration with Gareth Dennis. It was way, way back, and the video is not still up, unfortunately. But we did do a video together. Yeah, so definitely. Um, taken down, nothing to do with the actual collaboration, but yeah, it was fun. So we're gonna need to speed up as we're going through these. So number 17 is Chicago, which I think was like one of the top 5 for City Nerd, but it's 17 for me. I should be doing stuff besides this channel. I agree fully. Um, it's just the uncertainty of YouTube makes me feel like, okay, I need some stability. By focusing on it and making sure I create good videos, that provides a bit more certainty to me. But yeah, I do need to do more stuff. I agree completely. So we're going to be doing number 16 shortly. So people can guess at number 16. I'm just going to go through a few of these questions. If Eastside Access opens in December, I think it will. If will you visit? Maybe it's possible. No guarantees on this. Will you do a separate episode on Istanbul's boats? That could be interesting. What's your preferred video editor? I edit everything in DaVinci Resolve, and I quite like it. As I commented before, I'm mostly going to take questions that are not related related to transit because the transit focus of today's video is just where my viewers come from. What kind of thing do you do for a day job? YouTube is my day job. It's my full-time thing. So yeah, my profession, what I studied in school is computer science, software engineering. Though I did get to spend some time working as a transportation planner. Uh, so basically, an engineering firm here in Toronto. I don't know if I've ever talked about this in detail on stream or whatever, but an engineering firm, a global one, but one here in Toronto, enjoyed the videos I made and the like, and thought I could do positive work as a transportation planner. So I worked at an engineering firm for a while during 2020 as a planner. I worked on a number of interesting transportation planning and transportation related projects with them. It was really good. But 2020 was a really rough year for me. So I didn't stay there for the long term. But it was a really good time, and I enjoyed the projects I worked on. I had a great relationship with my coworkers, and it was a really informative experience. So that was great. Now I got to move towards number 16. Um, Looking at the guesses for 16. Yes, okay. I'm just making sure I didn't screw it up. Someone has guessed it. So sadly, Oslo does not appear in the top 25, but that's okay. I love Oslo, great city. Um, I'm sure I'll make more videos about Norway because it's super interesting. Any transit or rail agencies or companies you want to work for? I want to respond to this, but I got shot to the bottom of the chat, so I just want to quickly check through this. Favorite Toronto neighborhood? Oh, there's so many good questions here. I'm just going to try to go through them. I really like Kensington Market. I think it could be so much better than it is, but I like it a lot. I like um, I like North York Center a lot too. Maybe controversial Toronto urbanist take, but it's a city I love, or sorry, a neighborhood I love. Wider, narrower Yonge Street would be good though. Which cities are you planning on visiting? All of the cities. I want to visit so many and film videos and stuff. I do know about the brand new high speed rail in Indonesia. Any transit or rail agencies or companies you want to work for? So I don't necessarily want to work for a transit agency. I really like the freedom and flexibility to talk about and cover topics all around the world. And so working at a single transit agency wouldn't give me that opportunity. And I also think that I wouldn't have the ability to kind of talk about all kinds of interesting things if I was doing that. So probably not, but maybe I could do a collaboration with transit agencies to talk about behind the scenes and stuff like that. So someone saying don't want to jump the gun. Toronto is surely number one. I actually at the beginning of the stream just went and just Toronto is number one, but everything else will be interesting. And so 16. I'm going to put in here in a second. Okay, sorry, I just saw that there is a super chat. From Stokey99. Hi from Perth. Love the video you did on Transperth. The airport line has now opened and it's been a huge success. Would you do an update video? Perhaps. That's really exciting to hear that it's open, and I think Perth still has a super interesting, um, transit network given its size. So it's great. Um, Let me put in number 16, and then I'm going to speed run through a lot of these chat messages. 16 is Vancouver, Canada. I think there aren't that many Canadian cities that are actually in the rest of the list. I'm just going to scroll through the chat, quickly go through here. Underrated city in terms of transit infrastructure. I think Delhi is, and if you haven't seen my video from yesterday, please go check it out. Oh, without transit above buses. I don't think any of the cities in the top 25 or above where we are now have transit without buses. What are we? What type of music do you listen to? I think that's interesting. All kinds of music. I love everything. Yeah, I love music though. I really do. I listen to a ton. We have some instruments sitting there on the ground in the apartment. Yes, instruments in the apartment. Our neighbors love us. We are currently on English-speaking cities with 2 million plus population, so there can't be that many left. I will say the next several are not English-speaking cities, so I think that will be interesting. So guesses right now are going for number 15. Always appreciate the thoughtful coverage of Sydney. Thanks, I appreciate that. When you think about rapid urbanization in the US, what comes to mind? I'm not sure necessarily what you're asking with that, but I do think looking to Canada for the US could be helpful. Bangkok is not in the top 25, unfortunately, but I do have the whole top 500 list here. Uh, Melbourne or Sydney? I like both of them. Okay, I've been shot down to the bottom of the chat. I just need to scroll through this really quick. Um, uh, Favorite thing about Copenhagen? I just find it to be quite an attractive city, not because of the natural environment, but I just think the architecture and stuff of Copenhagen is really nice. So if you're just getting onto the stream, we're counting down the top 25 cities my viewers come from. The next city is 15. People can be, guessing at that, and I think it'll be interesting. So, very interesting question from Union Turnpike. Could you see yourself ever writing a book? Would anyone be interested in if I wrote a book? Would people buy it? Is this a thing? I'd be curious to hear what people say. It's certainly something I've considered, but if no one would buy it, it wouldn't be worth doing. But I think it could be super interesting. And yes, I do know my viewership from cities based on YouTube stats. Yeah. Best neighborhood in Vancouver. I love just the whole downtown Vancouver area. I love Olympic Village. I love Metro Town too, though, and I think there's a lot of cool neighborhoods around the Expo line. I would say Vancouver is not higher just because other cities are higher. Vancouver is high in terms of views relative to a lot of cities, but just other cities came higher. Just scrolling through, so people guessing away for 15. AMA stands for Ask Me Anything. How many countries have you been to, and which country is your favorite? I've been to around 50 or so, or a little more than 50, I think. Which country is your favorite? I couldn't say. Every country has something special about it. Do you know the transit situation in Jakarta? AMA, best neighborhood in Vancouver, already covered. It would be interesting. So go watch City Nerds videos if you or stream if you want to know what his top 25 or top 20 was, and then you can compare with my top 20. Your favorite band? Oh, I really like Radiohead, but I like a lot of bands, so I feel bad saying that they were my favorite, because that's stealing away other bands' opportunity to be my favorite, even though they don't need it. Um, Okay, I'm just quickly scrolling through, and next up is going to be number 15. I'm seeing lots of guesses, but I do not think I've seen anyone guess it. Thoughts on and I will say so just because people will probably be curious about this, I don't think that the top 25 really correlates at all with video coverage. I was curious about this, and so I counted the number of videos that have been made about each of the cities in the top 25, and they're not in order at all. Like there's no real correlation as far as I can tell with the amount of times videos about those cities have been viewed and the amount of viewers that come from the cities. So I think people might assume that, but it's not the case. But yeah, next up we're going to 15. Um, just scrolling through, trying to get through all of the chat. The impact I hope to have with my videos is to just bring up the kind of baseline standards of transit agencies. Well, one of the impacts I want to have is to bring up the baseline standards of transit agencies around the world. So, like, a lot of transit agencies that don't should have smart cards. A lot that don't should have platform screen doors. A lot that don't should do more frequent service. So lots of things to consider about that. Have you been to Rouge Hill Go Station? I have a video about Rouge Hill Go Station, so most definitely yes. Um, People are saying they would buy my book. Someone's saying if it's not too long, if I wrote a book, it would probably be hilariously long. I've thought about writing a book that would be kind of like everything. Like you read this book and you have basically my knowledge on transit for the most part. Transit and transportation. Ooh, sign it for us. Well, that's an interesting idea. Um, I'm just gonna get through the chat and then we'll get to number 15. Um, and I do want to get this done ideally by like within an hour, so that it might get a bit tight, but we're gonna try. Um, I always a big part of Vancouver being expensive, IMO, is because Vancouver is just an attractive place to live. It's just a beautiful city. It's lovely. Will there be a video on the Elizabeth Line service through running? Maybe not a dedicated video because there's so many great UK creators who will be doing stuff, but who knows? There have been two Indian cities in the top 25. Both Mumbai and Delhi made it in the top 25. Have you considered doing a collaboration with a local transit vlogger? I'm not sure what that's necessarily referring to specifically. Um, okay, so number 15 is, see if I haven't seen anyone guess this, and I'm surprised, frankly. This is the last city from this country on the list, but I'm impressed that it made it to 15. It is Bengaluru in India. So impressive that it beat both Delhi and Mumbai, but that probably has to do with it being like a more kind of unified municipality or something like that. Um, why are you wearing gray today? What a strange question. I'm just wearing gray because I find this Simon Fraser University sweater to be very comfortable. Um, Someone used to be a producer for Radiohead. That's funny. Yes, so we're now into the top 15. We're guessing at number 14 next. Um, how many of the 50 countries I've been to, well, it's 50 something, are in the Schengen area? A bunch of them are in the Schengen area, but not too many. Um, it might be more actually than that. Let me just. Have you been to Glasgow? Okay, I'm looking at 14. Can you make a video about Jakarta's BRT? Probably eventually. I would need some good footage. Um, so okay, again, please do not send messages multiple times. It makes it really hard for me to track. I'm looking here, so I'm not even at guesses for the 14th city. I'd buy a book, whatever the length. Well, maybe I need to do a book. What am I drinking? I already talked about this, but pineapple flavored sparkling water. Not my favorite, but it was all they had. I drink a lot of sparkling water. I enjoy it thoroughly. Do you think Chongqing is an interesting city for rail transit? Definitely. Did you study French in school? Yes. Um, People are saying I come across well in video format. You shouldn't write a book. Interesting comment. Um, I have read the Strong Towns books. I'm seeing so many guesses for 14. Um, I'm looking. 14 is very guessable, I would say. I wouldn't be surprised if people can guess it. So, favorite YouTuber I've collaborated with, all of them. I love meeting other YouTubers. I met with City Beautiful or Dave of City Beautiful yesterday, and it was really cool. So, I love meeting all kinds of YouTubers. So yeah, I am taking questions too, but they have to be you have to put AMA at the beginning of your question and ideally not transit related. You went to SFU? No, but I almost went to SFU many times. I was going to do a master's there in urban studies, but I didn't. I am not planning on covering any Ukrainian rail systems soon, but eventually, definitely, yeah, I would love to. Um, Highest mountain I've ever been on. I think I've been on the tallest mountain in North America, which is quite tall, in Alaska. Um, Lots of guesses for 14. Just chat in YouTube is very annoying. I've definitely seen at least one person has guessed 14. Looking here, 14 is coming up very shortly. So many guesses. 14, the video where 14th, the 14th highest viewership from RMTransit viewers is from. Um, okay, so, oh wow, okay. Well, let's say 14. 14 is the great urbanist city of Amsterdam. So there you go. What is your favorite? Okay, I'm just gonna go through a bunch of questions. What's your favorite dessert? Ice cream. What's your favorite animal? I love the platypus. Um, Kuala Lumpur, how is that transit? Unclear what's being asked. Have you ever collabed with Not Just Bikes? Light semi collabs. Would you ever go for a PhD? I almost did in a certain upside down country. AMA, what's the most interesting city you've been to? Tokyo, probably. Do you watch Formula One? I don't, but people around me do. Um, have you ever been to Bari? Yes. Have you ever been to Barcelona? What were your thoughts? Yes. Love all the Gaudi architecture. It's such a cool city. Beautiful, lovely, like LA, but if transit was great and it wasn't sprawling. What do you think of New York City in general? It's just an epic city. If you couldn't do videos about transit, what would you talk about? Technology. Um, and next up is the 13th city. So if people want to guess at what the 13th city is, then they can. Um, let's look. What made you decide to be a YouTuber? I like making videos. Favorite food? Probably like Korean fried chicken or something like that. I do watch Jet Like the Game. Um, how long does an average video take from conception to editing to uploading? A long time, several months usually. I'm just working on many in parallel. Uh, Definitely a chance of Dublin in a future video. What's your take on e-bikes? I think they're great. Um, I like living in Canada. I'm pretty happy about that. Do the RGB lights on your computer help with the video editing process? Yes, Thomas. Yes, they do. I expected Amsterdam to be higher. Well, if you expected Amsterdam to be higher, you're going to love 13. Um, I don't think North American countries have such large housing bubbles and crashes. I think they are like basically other countries. It's going good in Canada. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of the chat. It's very annoying the way YouTube works with this. Um, Other ideas for channel names. My channel was originally just my name. I ended up changing it, and I kind of regret doing that. Um, the platypus named Perry. Have you visited the Netherlands? Yes. Favorite building in Toronto? I have many favorites. I really... Ooh, that's such a good question. Favorite building in Toronto? I love CIBC Square. I think 160 Front will be really nice. Um, there's no cool buildings at U of T. No, I'm kidding. No cool modern buildings at U of T. The new U of T AI Center is kind of cool, though. So I've given a few, but lots. What was your favorite subject in school? I loved programming, which is why I went into computer science. But I also loved math a lot. I am not a billionaire, definitely not. Well, will you consider doing a transit meetup in Toronto with your local fans? Probably not. Those things are really difficult. 13. I'm seeing lots of guesses for 13. Um, what is 13? 13 is the German-speaking city of Vienna in Austria. Um, So yeah, Vienna. I think Vienna is a really nice city. The U-Bahn is lovely. The S-Bahn is good. The trams are great, right? So like it's a respectable transit-oriented city. So yeah, very exciting. Any recommendations in visiting Toronto? No, just ride the transit network. Go into the suburbs and see how frequent the buses are. It's great. How do you write your scripts? How do you version them using Git? No, I just use Google Docs. Using Git to do scripts. Come on. Uh, Git is nice, but I wouldn't use it for that. I don't think. Do you want to get your driver's license? I have a driver's license. I just do not use it. It may also be expired. Um, Next up is going to be this number 12, which is crazy. We're more than halfway there. I really need to speed these up because it's 9:50 in Toronto and I'm only at number 12. So I need to hurry this up. Just looking through. Rails to trails, yeah, it's a mixed bag. What do you think of HS2? Overbuilt. I think it's important that the UK has more high-speed rail, but I think it's being overbuilt. Have you ever been to Greece? Yes, I have. Actually, so uh, this is such a random thing, but one of my favorite cities in the world is the city of Heraklion in Greece. I spent some time there. It was amazing. I loved it. Like that was it's such a city I didn't expect to love, but that's one of my favorite cities in the world. So I thought that was kind of cool. Um, I use I use DaVinci Resolve. Yes, I'm seeing lots of guesses for 12. Um, well, a bunch of people did meet me on the opening day of the Elizabeth line in London, and that was really cool. It was cool to see people who know me from the channel. So number 12 is Perth, Australia. Um, I think some people may have guessed it here. Um, yeah, live chat just isn't good on YouTube. I don't think there's really an app that manages it better. Air taxis, probably not. Um, yeah, Perth is a cool city. It's cool to see that Perth ranked quite highly. I think. So yeah. Have you ever? Yeah. Okay. Wait. I've already seen the "Have you ever been to Greece" one because I just responded to that. Um, I subscribe to you on Nebula, but if I unsubscribe on YouTube, then I don't have access to your old videos. Well, you don't have to unsubscribe from YouTube. It is free. Uh, but definitely consider subscribing on Nebula. It's really helpful, and it helps the channel a lot. Um, I do want to visit more international cities. Do you have a central place where you store all your information? No, that's why I need to write a book, I think, for my own use. Uh, so many questions. I have been to Seoul, yes. Videos about reforming the franchising system. Oh my goodness. Well, that would be quite the book. It wouldn't be short. People are guessing at 11, and I haven't seen the guess for. Oh, actually, no, I have. I have seen it. Someone has guessed it. Um, yes, pet sleeping on the floor. Exactly. That was a great guess, actually. How should people who want to become better engage with your elected officials? These are too big to ask to respond to quickly on a live stream. Um, okay, so the Oxfordian has guessed it. Number 11 is Stockholm in Sweden. Gotta love my Swedish RMTransit viewers for watching my videos, but I also do love Stockholm. So that's very satisfying to hear. Just looking through here, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Now, flying cars. Oh, the chat is so messy. Entering the top 10, yes. Do you think London needs more trams? Maybe. Maybe way out in the suburbs. Yeah, top 10, let's go. Um, which open source software do you use? I use a lot, but I feel like listing them now would be wasteful in terms of time. Number 10 is a fairly guessable city, I feel like. Yep, someone just guessed it. Okay, I gotta give it to you. Raptor fan, RBLX YouTube. Ottawa is number 10. Ottawa, Ontario, Canada's capital city. Doing an RMTransit tour would be really cool. Will I talk about the Spanish Narrow Gauge Network? Hopefully at some point. I kind of talked about New South Wales train link in my Sydney explainer, but yes, maybe more in detail. Thameslink or Crossrail, Crossrail, which and I don't really consider them to be the same sort of thing. People are already guessing at number 9, so if someone guesses it, I will say yes. I didn't actually go to SFU, so I can't tell you how my experience was. Thoughts on the German 9 euro ticket? I think it was an interesting thing to study. Good plan for Germany, not a great thing for North America. Favorite transit related place in Barcelona? Probably one of the line 910 stations. Maybe a Victoria V line video. Well, just you stay tuned and who knows what might happen. I don't think anyone has guessed 9 specifically. Oh, well, there we go. Roger has guessed it. Number 9 is Berlin, Germany, which I think is really cool. Berlin is such an epic transit city, right? So it makes me proud to think that I have many viewers in Berlin, which is awesome. Looking here, 9, Milan, Paris, Oslo, London, lots of guesses. I did know about the platypus's poisonous spur. Thank you for this very interesting fact, though, Stephen. Yeah, Ottawa and Gatineau could have a better waterfront, actually. I will make a Berlin tram video, I promise. Everyone's guessing at 8. I haven't seen 8 yet. Let me see. Calgary, Paris, Vancouver. Yeah, these cities are all Berlin was the first of the cities that has like way more views than the others on the list. Istanbul, yeah, Istanbul was number 18. Very impressed actually. Um, Vienna is good for sure. Let's see, is anyone gonna guess it, or am I gonna have to give 8 myself? Nope, not seeing it yet. Um, Number 1 is Toronto. I actually talked about that at the beginning of the stream because I thought it would be more interesting if people tried to guess for number 2, because number 2 is much harder to guess than Toronto. Oh, so someone did it. Someone guessed it. Number 8 is Hong Kong. Um, very nice because Hong Kong has the MTR, which is such an epic transit system. So I couldn't be more happy with yes, you did. I don't know how to pronounce your username, but congratulations on that. Rope or bouldering? Rope. And I need to get back into climbing more again. Sharks with or without lasers? Without would be preferable. I don't know how they would get lasers. We're now guessing on number 7. Hong Kong was number 8, which was crazy and awesome. I think Billy Bishop Airport should be the center of an interesting conversation. All of the GTA does not count as Toronto. Mississauga was separately on the list. 18 was not Delhi, 19 was Delhi, 18 was Istanbul, and then the rest of your ranking is, I think, correct. I'm looking. People are guessing at 7. Okay, so someone has just guessed it. Khalil. 7 is Montreal, home of the famous Montreal Metro. I do love Montreal, so it's cool that it's in the top 10. How is the Kitchener-Waterloo area? I think it's lovely, especially for a small kind of region. Okay, people are starting to guess for 6. So, see. Yes, so we have now covered. There are no more Canadian cities besides Toronto in the top 6. So we're looking at guesses. What is the black appliance beside the sink behind you? That is an air fryer. Um, you're supposed to put AMA at the beginning of the questions, though. Um, People are furiously typing. Okay, so 5 and 6 are 2 cities from Australia, but people need to guess what the order is from those 2 cities from Australia. I have made a video on signaling systems with Tyson Moore. You should go check it out. How much of the UK have you been to outside of London? A decent amount. Yeah, at least some of my heritage is in the UK. So, yeah. Silverline extension. I do own an air fryer. I'm only taking questions and comments that are non-transit related today. As I said, Sydney 6, Melbourne 5. What 2 Australian cities are 5 and 6? And what order do they come in? Oh yes, spookage. 6 is Melbourne, and 5 is Sydney. Yeah, I gotta appreciate my Australian viewers. there's a large contingent of them, and I find them uh, I find them very nice. So yes, uh, Melbourne slightly edged out by Sydney. Melbourne, folks, you're very close to Sydney. The closest two cities on the entire viewership list. Sydney just barely edged Melbourne out, which is a bit sad. What's your favorite type of electrical outlet? I'm a big fan of the North American one. Are you a coffee guy? No, I am not, unfortunately. Um, People are guessing crazily at number four. It's been guessed so many times. Number four is New York City. Yes, the top American city on the ranking. Very impressive. We're getting into the top two besides Toronto, which kind of flew away with number one. The top two is really interesting, I think. I'm curious what people will guess for it. Um, I'm seeing Chicago already appeared at 17. Paris, Barcelona, Paris, Tokyo. Do you watch Auto Shenanigans? I don't know what that is. What do you cook with the air fryer? So many different things. All kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's very, very versatile. I don't have the 5 second opinion on the Twitter situation is I'm afraid that Twitter is going to die. Um, Aussie. Yeah. Uh, so many guesses at number three. So number three, and I think this will throw us all for a loop because people are all guessing. Yes, number three is London. I can post the full list on Twitter after. Yes, favorite Tim Hortons item? None these days because I feel like Tim Hortons has gone way downhill, and it makes me sad because I used to enjoy Tim Hortons. Used to have the donuts sometime, used to have the drinks sometime. It was good. But now, yes, we do not. Yes, it is a secondhand Dyson air purifier that I got in a garage sale, and it works pretty well. Will you get an instant pot too? Um, Probably not. So London was number three. Amazing, isn't it? Wow, good job, London. Lots of viewers in London. Substantially more than New York. Come on, New York, you got to catch up. And I will say, Sydney and Melbourne are within striking distance of New York. So soon enough, the Australians could beat out the Americans in my viewership. So I have to say, you got to get more New Yorkers watching the videos. Um, what will the number two city be? Palm Tree mentions sad. No Singapore. No, that's not nice. Do you plan on doing a video on the Prague system? Have you ever been to Burlington? So number two is basically number one because as I already said, number one is Toronto. I'm seeing lots of guesses. Um, I love that Jared is tracking the ranking. This is great. Yeah, Singaporeans don't watch RMTransit. How much more substantial is London over New York City? It's like 20% more views have come from London than New York City. So it's pretty substantial. I'm seeing lots of. It is an adjustable height standing desk, correct? Who is going to be the number two most viewed city for RMTransit? I do like standing desks. They're great. They're so versatile. I like standing at them. The European Type-C outlet is safer, yes, but the North American one is also the Japanese one, and it's kind of the most compact, which I think is nice and useful. I'm seeing lots of guesses for number two. Why do you pronounce it the way you do? I mean, I pronounce Toronto. I just said it, Toronto. I pronounce it differently when I'm speaking in videos versus when I'm talking in real life. Was Ottawa even on the list? Yeah, number 10, Ottawa. People are guessing. Top two for Madrid. Everyone, so many guesses. It's very amazing to see these guesses. I will slowly type it into the chat, and I won't press send yet. Singapore has a small population, but we love RM Transit. Oh, thank you, Singapore. It's not a statement. It's a statement, not a question. But the UK plug is the best plug. Um, Hello from Queens, New York. Hi there from Queens, New York. People are guessing to Paris, to Delhi. Delhi was on the list, but it's not. It's not Paris, not Amsterdam. Already on the list. London was already on the list at number 3. Um, your kettle is popular among coffee enthusiasts. Well, that's interesting to know. 2 is Tokyo, Brampton, Buenos Aires, Amsterdam. No, Amsterdam's already on the list. Paris, Texas. Ottawa was number 10. Tokyo. I wish it was Tokyo. Um, so many guesses. I'll give it a minute until I put it in there. Give us a hint. We have a small number of transit fans in Kuala Lumpur, but we all know RMTransit. Oh, that's so nice to hear. Vancouver's already been on the list. So is LA. Montreal has too. Okay, so I will say 2 completely shocked me, because 2 is not that close to Toronto, but way closer than I would have expected. 2 is a very interesting city, a city with great public transportation. Um, but just astounded that this city beat out, London and New York and Sydney and Hong Kong and Berlin and Amsterdam. This is a true urbanist's city. It was amazing that this one made it to the number 2 spot. Um, I'm I have seen it in the chat a fair bit. Yeah, it turns out Singapore is a small country, but a country with a crap ton of RM Transit viewers because it is Singapore, in number 2. Congratulations, Singapore. Yes. Um, Kind of amazing, if I'm honest. Yeah, I was kind of surprised Paris wasn't on there as well. I agree. Singapore, amazing. That Singapore was number 2 city with the most views from it, which is crazy. Um, yeah, super impressive. Congratulations, Singapore. I guess I have to definitely visit Singapore now. But it's so expensive, so I'm not sure because it is real expensive to travel to Singapore. So Singapore is a city state, but there are a lot of big cities. I mean, New York has more people in it than Singapore. So the fact that Singapore handily beat New York on the list is very impressive. So 26 is Paris. Um, 26 is Paris. Okay, so are people interested in if I just rapidly scroll down and just talk about where a bunch of these are from? Um, well, the French do watch because 26, but where's Kitchener-Waterloo on the list? Waterloo is on the list. What if I just, okay, well, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, let's look. Waterloo is at 69 and Kitchener is at 66. Where is Tokyo? Tokyo is... I'm sure Tokyo's in here. Nope, apparently Tokyo's not, but that's probably just because it's broken into so many like sub-municipalities. In which position is Madrid? Madrid is in 46th, right after Copenhagen at 47. I agree. Singapore's victory does show how seriously they take public transit. Sydney was in number 5, if I recall correctly. Where is Philadelphia? 42. Copenhagen is 47. Or sorry, no, Jakarta is 47. Copenhagen is 45. Istanbul's 18. Portland, Milan. Okay, where's Portland here? Milan is at 57. Portland is at 53. Fake London is at 58. So yeah, lots. It's very interesting. Hong Kong was in like the top 25. I think it's like eighth. The list is total number of views. Yes. Where is Stockholm? Stockholm was like 11, if I recall correctly. So yeah, thank you everyone who watches my videos, no matter which city you are from. If you watch my videos more, you're helping your city climb the ranks. But I really appreciate everyone who has watched my channel over the years. Um, it's been a big project of mine, a huge passion. I really love making transit related YouTube videos, and I love sharing that with all of you. So Gothenburg is actually fairly high. I think it's like 40 something, which is shocking. Sweden, you guys watch a lot of my videos. It's impressive. Um, yeah, Warsaw is in the 40s. So good work, Poland. I will publish a full list in the future. We shall see. Um, Top 100 rather than top 25. I'll think about what I'll do. Have you found a Timmy's replacement yet? I have tried Pret in Toronto, and I think it is not Timmy's replacement level, but it's close. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. And with this, I will go back to sleep because I woke up really early to stream this. Thank you.